Hello and welcome. You're watching Closing Trades on ET now. I'm Anisha Jain, with me Sajay Sharma, and if I don't know I should call it that or not, but the market seems to have flatlined for now. If you look at the intraday chart, 19,800 is where we have made the home for the trading session. It's been 10 points up and down from that range, but hasn't materially moved, so very lackluster. The action seems to have moved in the primary market rather than the secondary market, given the kind of subscription figures we have seen so far. It's small caps which are outperforming the rest of the peers, so small cap index is up a good 1% versus the mid cap, which is pretty much flat, and the rest of the markets as well. Pharma pack is lower. That's of course dragged by Cipla, but separately Lupin and Aurobindo are also on the back foot. What's zooming to all-time high levels are the auto names. So Bajaj Auto, after that big upgrade coming in from Morgan Stanley, almost 1,000 points higher on the target price, has spurred that a rally on that stock, and you're seeing a rub-off of sorts on the likes of TVS and Hero as well. Eicher Motor 2 is sitting at all-time high levels, and what's in a sweet spot today, Ajay, is also the sugar companies, right? Take a look at a Uttam or a Sri Renuka or a EID Parry. All are up anywhere between 5 to 10%.
Actually, if you're a Nifty trader, then you're finding it hard to trade.
Yeah,
but then there is a huge market out there which is extremely active. Bank Nifty has come back. Yesterday, Bank Nifty was sulking. Nifty was okay. Today we are seeing Bank Nifty come back. In fact, the worst hit of the banks, SBI and RBL, pull up the intraday, you would see buying coming in from the lower levels. It's also actually off highs, but RBL Bank is in the red, so in the green. Point is that banks are doing well today. The other point is that now in the PSU pack, people are going after names which have not run up, and OMCs, which are the most inexpensive part of the entire PSU basket, and for reasons, is starting to see some action. Barring Cipla, there are names which are doing very well. Look at how Piramal Pharma has shot up, and many others. So people are going after names which have given good commentary after the earnings in the con calls and have not really done a whole lot. So if you're a stock picker, look at the mid cap, small cap intraday, the index, you will see the massive outperformance coming in as far as the Nifty in particular goes. Kunal Bothra is here with us, and Nooresh should also be joining in. Yes, both of them are there. Nooresh and Kunal, afternoon to both of you. Nifty traders are finding it hard, but the overall volumes also been impacted, or it's just the Nifty part which is looking boring? Nooresh?
Yeah, so if we look at it, it's Nifty which has been boring for a really long time, because some of the names have been boring for multi-years now in terms of price action. So if you, so the new meme which could be that HDFC Bank was at 1,500 in say November of 2020, November of 2021, 2022, as well as 2023. So the stock price has gone nowhere. That's the highest weight in the Nifty. It is the highest weight in the Bank Nifty as well. So if you have 12 to 15% of the Nifty stuck at one place, so how do you expect a much bigger trend? And add to it, we are seeing same bit of sluggishness come up in a Kotak Mahindra Bank, which is similarly placed. And the outperformer, which was ICICI Bank, is also stuck. But at the same time, if you look at it, Nifty 50 equal weight has hit a new all-time high. So it's the same stocks, but the heavyweights are not doing well, but the whole stock-specific moves are even happening in the Nifty. Nifty 500 is just, say, 0.5% away from an all-time high. You have mid-cap and small caps doing well. So it's time to be stock-specific, but we've started seeing the first indications of some recovery coming in the heavyweights. We've seen Reliance take start in the last two sessions. HDFC Bank is coming closer to take a start. So overall, the bias is positive. We could actually see some follow-up action over the next few sessions in the Nifty itself.
Taken, but since you're asking to be stock specific, let me point out some stocks and news as well. Let me start with Honasa Consumer, which is high by 20% now. Of course, the earnings were a bit of a surprise, 27% volume growth, margin expansion, and more importantly, the management commentary held up okay. And then, of course, the brokerage upgrade coming in from Jefferies in the sense of increasing their EPS estimates and the target price marginally, and they're reiterating a buy. The second one, of course, is Cipla, as we highlighted, that's taking it on the chin, 7% lower. So the warning letter is something that the street already knew about. It's the details which have come in incrementally, and that data integrity issue hasn't gone down well with the street, given the fact that this is a very important facility for Cipla as well. Also, watch out for what's happening to Bajaj Auto. Morgan Stanley has actually hiked the target price to 6,229. all the way from 5,449. They're saying all 5 cylinders are firing. There are a lot of new launches which are lined up, and all of that is looking quite impressive for Bajaj Auto as well. But Kunal, let me ask you this question on Bajaj Auto as well as Cipla. What would be your recommendations on the stock if there's any trade at all in these two names?
So I think auto stocks largely, Anisha, have been very bullish. So and we look at the last, I think maybe the new candidates of a breakout. I think it's been Bajaj Auto and Hero MotoCorp, which have done pretty well for themselves. When you look at the price comparison, maybe over the last 1 week or the last 10 days, as well as over the last 1.5 odd month. So I think that's where Bajaj Auto seems to be standing out. It's shown classic signs of outperformance. Even at current levels of 5,900, I believe that the momentum is on its side for the stock, and I believe that's a feature which is quite positive for the stock. Would be bullish on Bajaj Auto even from current levels. Would not be initiating a fresh buy, but I think for traders who've been holding on to the long positions over here, I think for them trying to trail the stop loss maybe 5,700, 750, and holding the positions could be a lot more better. Cipla, on the other hand, so I think yesterday the stock had actually given a breakout of sorts in terms of the charts. Now, after today's downtick of 7%, 6% move for Cipla, I would actually wait out for maybe one more day of correction or a follow-through price action on the downside and look out for more of contra opportunities over there. My sense is that the stock is trying to tap back into a key support point. So, maybe another couple of percentage points lower from today's closing or where the stock is right now, say 1150 approximately, could be a good zone to buy the stock.
So we are also joined by Sandeep Sabarwal, who's on our show now. Sandeep, afternoon. Sandeep, there's a view in the market that there perhaps could be massive shortage of sugar, and sugar stocks have, started running last few days. Also, the other hand, textile stocks were running last few days as well on news that on a bumper cotton crop could be in the offing, which could, bring the raw material prices lower. Have you tracked any of these commodity news pegs and the impact in the markets to that stocks?
Yeah, the sugar story is strong.
Okay.
It would have been even stronger if the government intervention was not there, because if you see, global prices today are $750 per ton, and adjusted for duty, actually the landed price if someone wants to import into India is almost 80 rupees, while the market price is just around 38 rupees in India. So the prices have got restricted a lot because of export restrictions, etc. But despite that, because of the failure of crops in Karnataka and Maharashtra, the likelihood that there'll be the inventory levels next year without any exports will be lesser than the inventory levels we are starting off now is a realistic possibility, and that is positive for the sugar company. So overall, it looks good. Now, people have to be careful where they play, because you can't be playing all the sugar companies, because Karnataka and Maharashtra-based companies will face significant cane issues as well as production issues, and they might not be able to benefit as much from the uptick in sugar prices as some of the companies in the north, especially in UP.
Selective, but they are favorably positioned, at least as far as some of the sugar companies are concerned. But Sandeep, what about this entire financialization theme? A lot of these, stock market facing companies, whether exchanges like BSE itself or the depositories like CDSL, they're all doing well. And of course, the brokerages as well, Angel One and others as well. What's your take? Would you be, kind of playing this theme in any way?
So I think BSE was unnecessarily subdued for a long time, while it's a duopoly and they should have got their reasonable share along with NSE. Now, some new initiatives have boosted the profitability, and now people are realizing that value should be there. So, but as of now, the valuations have run a bit ahead, but overall long-term story is good. Same is the case with CDSL. Brokerages, normally I don't play because it's a very competitive industry, very prone to market shocks. And if the overall markets are doing well and economy is doing well, there are better stocks to play. Some of these stocks have done extraordinarily well, but I tend not to buy most of these stocks.
What about Honasa then? Yeah, are you getting tempted there? 20% move? Sandeep?
That's also very speculative. If you look at it in terms of what they reported in terms of profit growth and all, on a overall base, given the market cap, it's not anything great. So, and when you do an IPO, etc., post that after fundraising, some improvements, etc., will happen. But longer term, sustainability is going to be a big issue, as we've seen with Nike also. I think sustainability becomes a big issue for companies which are mostly online focused, and then they need to go offline, and then costs increase, etc. So I don't think people should be very excited about it.
Sandeep, did you manage to check out Tata Tech offering and the RHP? There's a lot of view in the market that the discount to KPIT, which is its one of the peers, is quite a lot and may actually land up making money for investors. Would you consider checking it out?
It's very much possible because it's at a discount to most of the comparable companies and at a substantial discount. And given that it's a Tata Group company, as it is, the pedigree is good. My guess is it will list very well. But unfortunately, I think for most of the investors, the oversubscription is going to be so high that the allocations themselves may be so low. So I don't know how much sense it will make.
The first day, right? Will it make sense to buy on the first day for those who couldn't get the allotment?
That depends on the price, na.
The grey market seems to be suggesting around 800 something, 350 is around that.
Yeah, imagine a issue price of 475, 500 and a grey market premium of 350 on day one itself. It'll be still a listing. Let's see how it really pans out. But time now to take a small break on the show. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll discuss a lot more stock ideas.
We are joined, of course, Sandeep Sabal is chatting with us along with our panelists on the charts. Sandeep, are you observing the way, Sanjeev Goenka group companies are getting re-rated? Philips Carbon Black, then there is CESC which is moving, RPSG Ventures. Any of the names you like there among those businesses?
Not these, but I think from that group, like KEC International is something which we own. That company did well, has gone through a phase of turmoil related to lower margins, higher debt levels, etc. But now I think seems to be on a turnaround path. So I think on corrections and on weak days of weakness, I think that could be something which is interesting.
International, of course, the numbers have been doing very well. But the unheard of, or I would say not very often discussed names have started to do well. Kunal, Philips Carbon and RPSG Ventures, that is more of a holding company though, but look at how Philips is also doing well. Anything on the charts which look better to you among these two names?
Yeah, I think Philips Carbon is something which I do track. In fact, Ajay, the NSE code, for the stock where it started to get into a lot of volatility. So there was a phase when the stock moved up to 210, came down towards 190, 195, and then multiple attempts towards that 210 odd mark. The stock failed to cross over those levels. I think it's just last week or the week prior to that is where the stock has started to break out of the 210 levels for itself, and I think from there it's moved up strength after strength. It's now gone to those 250 plus levels. So it looks very attractive as a chart. The setup has been quite attractive, except for that minor phase of a bit of a volatility.
Have you on a very bad line, Kunal. We'll try and repatch that as well. But for now, that's the verdict coming in on some of these Sanjeev Goenka companies. What else is happening in the market? Well, it's HPCL, which has actually moved up in the last few minutes. And this is something that we picked up from agencies as well, that India is planning to ask ONGC to consider rights issue to fund HPCL. It's looking at various options to fund HPCL energy transition plans. And one of the ways probably to do it is asking ONGC to consider launching rights issue to indirectly fund HPCL plans, and they're also looking at providing some sort of soft loan to HPCL, and that's the reason that stock has surged quite a bit as well. Nooresh, your view on HPCL?
So we are seeing the whole basket do well. BPCL is at a new multi-month high. HPCL is coming almost closer to a 2 to 3 year high. So the last high for the last almost 3 years is around that 340, 350 mark. At 320, the stock is setting up for a major breakout in the long term. Could pause here, but the stock is pretty positive. Same as with BPCL. The stock has hit almost a 1.5 year high above this 405 mark. So structurally, the trends seem to be shifting towards a long-term breakout for the whole basket of BPCL, HPCL, and IOC.
Enough, but insurance companies are also in focus, and I'm not sure of exactly what the pair trade was, Sandeep, or it was just coincidence. We saw that last week when that RBI circular had come. Since then, the banking names were on the back foot, banking and NBFCs alike, but insurance companies were doing well. And then, of course, there were reports of, how the entire motor insurance basket is expected to increase. So we had New India Assurance and GIC run up, etc. Life insurance is also doing okay. What's your view on insurance companies? Would you just completely stay away, or there is merit in looking at some of these names?
So I have invested in the past, but then with some profits we have exited because the performance of these companies in general have been subpar and have not been able to achieve the kind of growth rates which one thought should come as insurance penetration, etc., increases. And the results, etc., have been and growth rates have been very erratic across the board, both in the general insurance and life insurance space. So right now, I'm not holding any of these and unlikely to buy in the near term.
Any of these insurance companies haven't been, given the better opportunities available in the market right now, maybe not making it to the top list. But what about auto, Sandeep? Quite a bit of momentum today in the two-wheeler space, calling it a one-day move, or structurally you are getting positive?
Doing well, and as we've said in the past, that Bajaj Auto is a good, strong story which should continue to do well. Now, at what price, what valuations people want to buy, that they need to decide. And uh, Hero Moto also has done well lately, but then their performance actually has been erratic in terms of what they say and what actually gets delivered. So that's something we need to monitor. And four-wheelers also, overall story looks good, both like for Tata Motors or M&M or Maruti. I think all of them should do well.
What about pharma? Would you look at buying this dip on Cipla or any other name? Because today some of the pharma names are on the back foot.
In pharma, we own Sun Pharma as a consistent player, which has been doing well over the long run. And Lupin as a turnaround play, as we've seen the performance turnaround, and that turnaround should again continue to play out over the next couple of years. So these are the two stocks we hold, and I think we will continue to hold for some time.
No, Sandeep, we'll let you go. Appreciate you making time and speaking with us. But since we're talking about the insurance sector, let me take it across to Anurag and try and understand. Anurag, what's this connection with the elections which are underway in terms of state and the general election and the insurance companies?
Insurance regulator IRDA has set a target of insurance for all by 2047. But as per the poll promises by all the political parties, it seems that this target will be achieved much, much earlier, and maybe by 2027 also. If we see in the recent 5 state assembly election, all the major political parties have announced free health insurance, property insurance. If we check just 5 states, so in Rajasthan, Indian National Congress has announced that health insurance scheme, the Chiranjeevi scheme, they will increase from 25 lakh to 50 lakh. The BJP has announced 40,000 crore of upgradation for health infrastructure. In the state of Chhattisgarh also, Congress has announced free health insurance of to 10 lakh rupees to every family. BJP has also announced for 10 lakh rupees of insurance, health insurance to every family. In Madhya Pradesh, Indian National Congress has announced 25 lakh rupees of health insurance. On the other side, BJP has announced Ayushman card, a free treatment of 5 lakh rupees for 2 crores. Similarly, in Telangana, Mizoram, so in all the states, the political parties, both the major political parties has announced health insurance coverage up to 10 lakh, 25 lakh. So seeing this trend in national election, in Lok Sabha election, we are likely to see that in poll manifesto, both the major national parties are likely to announce health insurance scheme for every citizen of the country. And in this regard only, insurance regulator IRDA is coming up with a Bima Vistar product also, which is one in all insurance product, which will have health insurance, life insurance, property insurance included in that in a minimal premium. So the insurance for all, which is a target set up by the IRDA, is likely to be achieved much, much earlier because government, both at state level and central level, are likely to offer more and more insurance coverage to the citizens.
That's an interesting one. Thanks, Anurag, for helping us understand that. So perhaps the election promises that have been made of giving insurance is something that could add a bit of a fillip to some of these insurance companies. But shifting focus, and Nooresh, coming to you for this one, I wanted to get a chart check going for Man Infra. That stock has been surging away in the trading session. And the other one I want to talk about is Deepak Nitrite, because the volumes are on the heavier side for that one.
In a consolidation for the last 3-4 months.
Can I go to Kunal?
Yeah. So Man Infra is in a consolidation for the last 3-4 months. Give a breakout above those 2022 highs, above that 130 mark. Consolidated for the last 3-4 months. Today, I post the fundraising announcement. The stock has seen a big gap up. So the trend is there across the whole real estate and infra pack. So Man Infra looks interesting, but on dips, any fade off towards 165, 170 going forward would be a buying opportunity. On Deepak Nitrite, overall the trend is pretty weak and sideways for the last 12 to 18 months. So would be cautious here. Being sideways has seen multiple times it fail around that 2300, 2350 mark. So would wait out and not venture here.
Not in a hurry to venture as far as Deepak Nitrite is concerned. So that's one stock to watch out for. In the last few minutes, we have seen a bit of a perk up on Praj Industries, higher in the trading session. Prudent Corporate is also doing quite well for itself. And then Aditya Birla Retail is also seeing some decent amount of volumes in the trading session. Kunal, would you want to venture a bet on any of these names?
The Aditya Birla Retail is, fashion retail is something which looks attractive. In fact, Anisha, the stock was absolutely sideways. I remember, I think, right from the end of the September expiry towards the maybe till yesterday, the stock was absolutely sideways. It was stuck into this 5-point or a 7-pointer band. So 216, 217 as a base, 222, 223 as a resistance for the stock price. So I think it comes as a very good and a pleasant surprise that the stock is starting off the end of the the current series on a slight optimistic note. And we've seen historically that whenever the stock has the tendency of moving at the end of an expiry week and the start of a fresh expiry, it tends to have more legs. Now, after today's price volume breakout, I would look out for first targets on the upside, which is around 235, 236 for ABFRL. This is also coinciding with the previous highs of the previous month for the stock price. So I would be bullish on the stock. Now, even in this kind of a momentum-less market, I think this could be a one stock which traders can bet even from current levels.
Take the closing trades as well from our chartist. Nooresh, what's the closing idea?
So that would be a buy on ONGC with a strict stop loss below 189. We are seeing good momentum across the PSE space. This is closer to the short-term supports.
Yeah, and I'm guessing ONGC is also on that news flow that we just told you about, that it could be used as one of the vehicles to fund the plans for HPCL. So not sure of exactly how interested the investors will be on that one. But Kunal, what about you? What's the closing trade?
So, since last couple of days, Nisha, I've been highlighting Hero MotoCorp as a positional trade as well as an opening trade, for example, today morning also. So I would want to hold on to that. My sense is that the auto stocks breakout is extremely strong and they should have much more legs on the upside. So hold on Hero MotoCorp.
Okay, hold on to the gains that you have had so far in Hero MotoCorp, but time now to slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere.